If you have a $700 car payment, you're not just paying for a car, you may be deleting your first $1 million. And in 2026, with used car prices still elevated, new car prices stubbornly high, and auto loan rates punishing anyone without perfect credit, this trap is getting worse, not better. The average new vehicle loan in America has pushed past $40,000, and many borrowers are stretching payments to 72 or even 84 months, according to Experian Auto Finance data. That sounds manageable monthly. That's exactly why it works. The monthly payment hides the real price. This video is not another lazy rant about how all cars are bad. That's childish. You need transportation. Some people need reliability for work, for kids, for safety. I get it. The real problem is something deeper. Normalizing a permanent car payment. Turning one depreciating machine into a lifelong subscription. And honestly, the real culprit isn't that you like nice cars. It's that the system trained you to think in monthly payments instead of lifetime wealth. Dealers sell the payment. Banks sell the payment. Even your broke friend with the shiny SUV sells the payment. Nobody shows you the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Simple. It's what your money could have become if you didn't send it somewhere else. In personal finance, that's the invisible bill, the one that wrecks you quietly. Rent is insane right now. Insurance is up, groceries still feel disrespectful. Wages have not exactly been sprinting ahead of cost of living in major metro areas. So when someone says, just pay cash for a car, I know that can sound out of touch. A lot of Americans are making decisions inside a rigged environment. The Federal Reserve kept rates high to fight inflation, lenders passed that pain through, and now regular people are financing basic transportation at rates that would have looked absurd a few years ago. According to the Federal Reserve and CFPB data trends, household debt burdens remain heavy, while interest costs across consumer credit categories have stayed elevated. Auto loans are part of that pressure cooker. So no, this is not me pretending your car choice exists in a vacuum. The system absolutely made this easier to fall into. But that doesn't change the math. And the math gets brutal fast. Picture two people. Same age, same income, same city, same stress. Person A buys a decent used Toyota or Honda, pays it off, then keeps driving it. Person B keeps rolling from one $700 payment into the next every 5 years because I deserve something reliable slowly became I deserve something newer. One is buying transportation. The other is renting status from a bank. I used to think the car payment itself was the problem. It isn't. That's only the surface. What they don't show you is the money that never got the chance to compound. Let's run the numbers. If you invest $700 per month instead of sending it into a rolling car payment, and that money grows at a historical long-term stock market return of around 8% to 10% before inflation, roughly in line with broad U.S. equity returns over long periods represented by the S&P 500, what happens over 40 years? At 8%, you're around $2.1 million. At 10%, you're around $3.7 million. Even if we haircut that and use a more conservative real-world blended assumption after bad timing, cash drag, and human imperfection, crossing $1 million is not hard. It's disturbingly plausible. So when I say a $100 car payment can cost you your first million, I'm not being dramatic. I'm being conservative. And here's where people push back. Yeah, but I need a car. Of course you do. I am not saying walk to work in Phoenix in August. I'm saying the trap is not buying a car. The trap is upgrading on autopilot before your current one has delivered its full value. A car is supposed to solve a transportation problem. In America, it often becomes an identity purchase, then a debt habit, then a retirement delay. Think about lifestyle inflation like an escalator going down. You can be earning more every year and still getting nowhere because every raise gets absorbed by a nicer trim package, a larger screen, leather seats, a higher insurance bill, pricier tires, registration, and interest. You feel like you're moving up? Financially, you're staying in place. My cousin learned this the hard way. Not because he was reckless, because he was normal. He traded in a paid-off car for a newer truck, then rolled negative equity into the next loan, then did it again. By the time he looked up, he had spent years making payments and still never owned anything valuable. He had transportation, sure. He also had no real investing habit. That's the part nobody talks about at the barbecue. Why do dealers love long loan terms? Why do lenders keep advertising affordability in monthly chunks? Why does nobody put the lost compounding on the windshield sticker? Because if they showed the real lifetime cost, the whole illusion would feel disgusting. According to Edmunds and industry financing trends, long-term auto loans became common because they lower the monthly pain enough to move inventory. But lower monthly pain doesn't mean lower cost. It often means you stay underwater longer, pay more interest, and create the perfect setup to trade in before equity catches up. That's quicksand. Credit card debt gets the headlines, but a badly managed car cycle can quietly kneecap wealth for decades. Stick with me, because the next number is gonna make you angry. Take a 30-year-old who keeps a $700 payment from age 30 to 65. That's $8,400 a year. Over 35 years, just the cash outflow is $294,000. Most people stop there and think, okay, expensive, but not insane. Wrong. The real loss is what that $8,400 per year could have done inside a Roth IRA, 401k, or taxable brokerage invested in low-cost index funds like VOO, VTI, or SCHB. That's where the million-dollar body blow happens. And yes, I know you can't stuff all $8,400 into a Roth IRA forever if limits change and your income rises. That's not the point. The point is the habit. You could split it across a Roth IRA, a 401k, an HSA if eligible, and a brokerage account at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Charles Schwab. The wrapper matters for taxes. The behavior matters more. Tone shift. Building. Odd. Now let me show you the part even a lot of financial advisors gloss over. The car payment doesn't just steal investment dollars, it also steals flexibility. When you lock yourself into a big auto payment, you need higher monthly income just to stay calm. That means you tolerate jobs you hate longer. You delay career risks. You build a smaller emergency fund because cash flow is tighter. You may contribute less to get your full employer match in a 401k, which is insane because that's literally free money. One monthly payment can trigger a chain reaction across your whole financial life. That's the beyond the obvious insight most people miss. The wealth destruction is not only compounding lost in the market, it's compounding lost in your choices. A heavy fixed payment makes you financially less mobile. And mobility is one of the biggest wealth-building advantages young adults have. So what do you do instead? Not theory, not guilt. A real blueprint. Step 1, break the monthly payment mindset. The next time you look at a car, ban one sentence from your mouth. What would the payment be? Replace it with, what is the total 5-year cost? That includes purchase price, interest, insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, and expected depreciation. Use tools from Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, CarEdge, and your insurance app. If a car only works when you ignore half its cost, you can't afford it. I want you to create a personal rule. Your transportation category should protect your investing rate, not compete with it. If the car payment forces you to pause your Roth IRA, lower your 401k below the employer match, or carry credit card balances, the car is too expensive, period. Step 2, build a car replacement fund before the next car emergency builds your loan for you. Open a high-yield savings account, or HYSA, at Ally Bank, SoFi, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or Wealthfront. Automated transfer every payday. Even $150 to $300 a month changes the game. Why? Because cash gives you negotiating power. Cash gives you options. Cash keeps a transmission failure from becoming a 7-year financing decision. This is the bucket patch. Inflation is the leak. A weak emergency fund turns every inconvenience into debt.
A dedicated car fund means your next vehicle decision happens from strength, not panic. If you already have a big payment, don't spiral. Ask one question. How fast can I get out of this cycle? Maybe that means keeping this car for 10 years instead of 4. Maybe it means making extra principal payments if the rate is ugly. Maybe it means driving the paid-off car for 3 more years while investing the old payment automatically. Step 3, redirect the freed-up payment the second the loan ends. This is where people blow it. They pay off the car, feel relief for 2 months, then upgrade. Don't do that. The day your car is paid off, your checking account should already be set to auto-transfer that same amount into wealth-building accounts. No decision fatigue. No, I'll start next month. Automate it. Send part to your 401k up to the full employer match. Send part to a Roth IRA if eligible. If you're on a high-deductible health plan, use an HSA because it's one of the most tax-advantaged accounts in America. Anything beyond that can go into a taxable brokerage invested through dollar cost averaging, or DCA, into low-cost index funds. This is how you flip the trap. The same $700 that used to buy depreciation can stop buying ownership in thousands of companies. Your money stops dying in your driveway and starts working while you sleep. I need to say one more thing, because somebody watching is about to justify the expensive car by saying life is short. True, life is short. That's exactly why you should not spend 40 years chained to a payment that keeps you anxious. Freedom is better than flexing. A paid-off, reliable car and a growing brokerage account will help you sleep better than a luxury badge financed at 8% ever will. And if you're a car person, cool. I'm not anti-car. I'm anti-normalized financial self-sabotage. If cars are your thing, spend on them consciously after you are investing, after you're getting the match, after high-interest debt is dead, after your emergency fund exists. Enjoy the toy from a position of strength. Because this is what no one tells you. Being middle class in America is expensive enough already. You do not need to volunteer for another permanent bill. The bank doesn't care that the paint color is premium. The lender doesn't care that the seats are ventilated. Compound interest definitely doesn't care. It will either work for you or against you every month, quietly, relentlessly. So the next time someone says, it's only $700 a month, translate it correctly. This may be the trade that delays my freedom by a decade. Finish this sentence in the comments. The worst financial advice I ever followed was, I want to see if focus on the monthly payment makes the list. If this surprised you, someone in your life needs to hear it. The like helps them find it. Your future self is watching right now. Subscribe if you want to give them a better life. On this channel, we build wealth slowly, honestly, and in a way that actually lasts. Engaged? This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about not being broke when it matters. One payment at a time. One automatic transfer at a time. One boring, powerful decision at a time.